All right, all right. So let's start off with some doom and gloom, shall we? I mean, just kidding. It's as dark as the tragedy of Macbeth is. We're going to start off with this a scene from the tragedy of Macbeth. This scene is nothing short of exciting, thrilling, and it's super witchy. It's Act One, Scene 5. The raven here is croaking to announce the arrival of Duncan at Macbeth's castle. You see Lady Macbeth plotting to persuade her husband to kill Duncan. It is a fatal scene. It's quite a fantastical scene, and I'm very, very excited to present Josie Diaz in the role of Lady Macbeth.
The raven himself is hoarse that croaks the fatal entrance of Duncan under my battlements. Come, you spirits that tend on mortal thoughts, unsex me here, and fill me from the crown to the toe top full of direst cruelty. Make thick my blood. Stop up the access and passage to remorse, that no compunctious visitings of nature shake my fell purpose, nor keep peace between the effect and it. Come to my woman's breasts, and take my milk for gall, you murdering ministers. Wherever in your sightless substances you wait on nature's mischief. Come, thick night, and pall thee in the dunnest smoke of hell, that my keen knife see not the wound it makes, nor heaven peep through the blanket of the dark to cry, hold, hold.
Yes, thank you, Josie Brava. All right. Next, we have a scene from Romeo and Juliet, and that irrepressible character, the nurse. This is Act One, Scene 3. It happens in the Capulets' house just before the feast is about to begin. Lady Capulet is looking for her daughter. Juliet enters, and Lady Capulet thinks that she can dismiss the nurse who raised Juliet. However, she immediately realizes that she cannot. She needs the nurse. She needs the nurse, and she starts to ask her about the nurses. She starts to ask her about if she remembers what Juliet was like when she was younger. And, and the nurse launches into a long story. The nurse has a tendency to talk, as you will see. So I don't want to say more than that. Let's welcome Karen Sellinger as the nurse.
Even or odd, of all the days of the year, come Lammas Eve at night shall she be 14. Susan and she, God rest all Christian souls, were of an age. Well, Susan is with God now. She was too good for me, but as I said, on Lammas Eve at night shall she be 14, that shall she marry. I remember it well. 'Tis since the earthquake now 11 years, and she was weaned. I never shall forget it. of all the days of the year upon that day, for I had then lain wormward to my dog, sitting in the sun under the dove house wall. My lord and you were then at Mantua. Nay, I do bear a brain. But as I said, when it did taste the wormwood on the nipple of my dog and felt it bitter, pretty fool, to see a Tetchian fall out with the dog. Well, quoth the dove house, 'twas no need I trow to bid me trudge. And since that time, it is 11 years, for then she could stand alone, nay, by the rood, she could have run and waddled about. For even the day before, she broke her brow, and then my husband, God rest his soul, was a merry man, took up the child. Yea, quoth he, dost thou fall upon thy face? Thou wilt fall backward when thou hast more wit, wilt thou not, Jewel? And by my holiday, it pretty much left crying and said, aye. To see now how a jest shall come about, I warn, and I should live 1,000 years, I never should forget it. Will not thou, Jewel, quoth he, and pretty fool instincted and said, I.
Thank you, Karen. Oh, such a delightful character. All right, moving on to Shakespeare's shortest play, The Comedy of Errors, that wonderfully twisted story of two sets of twins that get mixed up. Antipholus of Syracuse, Antipholus of Ephesus, Dromio of Syracuse, Dromio of Ephesus, mistaken identities. Things are crazy. The play opens with Antipholus being terribly confused, because people are talking to him, thanking him for favors, showing him goods he had ordered when he hasn't done so. And then the scene shifts to Antipholus of Ephesus, where again, more confusion ensues. So this scene is really interesting. These two sets of scenes are really interesting. What you're going to see first is Rima Miller as Antipholus of Syracuse, and Vivian Pisano as Dromio of Syracuse, supported by Anne Martin as the courtesan. And then we'll switch to Act 4, Scene 4, where Rima will play Dromio, who is Antipholus's servant. Vivian will then play Antipholus of Ephesus, and Anne Martin will join us back as the officer. So without much further ado, please welcome Vivian, Rima, and Anne.
Up, 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 up. No, that's too far. Down a little. Okay, forward, up, 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 up. I can't see it. There, up a little, up a little. Ah, perfect. The Comedy of Errors, Act 4, Scene 3. Antipholus of Syracuse. Dromio of Syracuse. Courtesan. Hey, Antipholus. Hey, my man. Hey.
No.
Hey, over here, Antipholus.
Antipholus, please.
Antipholus.
Here.
There is not a man I meet but doth salute me as if I were their well-acquainted friend, and everyone doth call me by my name. Some tender money to me, some invite me, some others give me thanks for kindnesses, some even offer me commodities to buy. Even now, the tailor called me into his shop and showed me some silks that he had bought for me. Oh, and then he took measurements of my body. Oh, these are imaginary wiles, and Lapland sorcerers do inhabit here.
Master, here's the gold you sent me for. What? Have you got the picture of old Adam, new apparelled?
gold is this? What Adam dost thou mean?
Not that Adam that kept the paradise, but that Adam that keeps the prison. He that goes in a calf's skin that was killed for the prodigal. He that came behind you, sir, like an evil angel and bids you forsake your liberty.
I understand you not.
No, why, 'tis a plain case. He that went like a bass viol in a case of leather. The man, sir, that when gentlemen are tired gives them a sob and rests them. He, sir, that takes pity on decayed men and gives them suits of durance. He that sets up his rest to do more exploit with his mace than a Morris pike.
What? Dost thou mean an officer?
Aye, sir, the sergeant of the band, he that brings any man to answer it that breaks his band, one that thinks a man always going to bed and says, God give you a good rest.
Well, sir, there rests in your foolery. Is there any ship sets forth tonight? May we be gone?
Why, sir, I brought you word an hour since that the bark expedition put forth tonight.
No.
And then you were hindered by the sergeant to tarry for the hoy delay. There are the angels that you sent for to deliver you.
This fellow is distract. And so am I, and here we wander in illusions. Oh, some blessed power deliver us from hence.
Well met, Master Antipholus. I see you found the goldsmith now. Is that the chain you promised me today?
Satan, avoid, I charge thee, tempt me not.
Master, is this Mistress Satan?
It is the devil.
Nay, she is worse. She is the devil's dam. And here she comes in the habit of a light wench. And thereof comes that the wenches say, God damn me. That's as much to say, God make me a light wench. It is written they appear to men like angels of light. Light is an effect of fire, and fire will burn. Ergo, light wenches will burn. Come not near her.
Your man and you are marvelous merry, sir. Will you go with me? We'll mend our dinner here.
Master, if you do, expect spoon meat or bespeak a long spoon.
Why, Romeo?
Mary, he must have a long spoon that must eat with the devil.
Avoid them, fiend! What tell thou me of supping? Thou art, as you all are, a sorceress. I conjure thee to leave me and be gone.
Give me the ring of mine you had at dinner, or for my diamond, the chain you promised, and I'll be gone, sir, and not trouble you.
Some devils ask but the parings of one's nail, a rush, a hair, a drop of blood, a pin, a nut, a cherry stone. But she, more covetous, would have a chain. Master, be wise. And if you give it her, the devil will shake her chain and fright us with it.
I pray you, sir, my ring, or else the chain. I hope you do not mean to cheat me so.
Avaunt, thou witch! Come, Romeo, let us be gone.
Fly prize, says the peacock. Mistress, that you know.
Oh, it's upside down. Turn it around. Okay, higher, higher. Up, 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 up. Oh, good, 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 good. No, too low. Up. Perfect. The Comedy of Errors, Act 4, Scene 4. Antipholus of Ephesus. Romeo of Ephesus. The jailer.
Fear me not, man, I will not break away. I'll give thee ere I leave thee so much money to warrant thee as I'm rested for. My wife is in a wayward mood today and will not likely trust the messenger that I should be attached in Ephesus. I tell you, 'twill sound harshly in her ears. Here comes my man. I think he brings the money. How now, sir? Have you that I sent you for?
Here's that. I warrant you, but you will pay them all.
But where's the money?
Why, sir, I gave the money for the rope.
500 ducats, villain, for a rope?
I serve you, sir, 500 at the rate.
To what end did I bid thee hie thee home?
But to the rope's end, sir, and to that end I am returned.
And to that end, sir, I will welcome you.
Oh!
Good sir, be patient.
Nay, 'tis for me to be patient. I am in adversity.
But now hold thy tongue.
Nay, rather persuade him to hold his hands.
Thou whoreson, senseless villain.
Oh! I would I were senseless, sir, that I might not feel your blows.
Thou art sensible in nothing but blows, and so is an ass.
Well, I am an ass indeed, as you may prove it by my ears. I have served him from the hour of my nativity to this instant, and have nothing at his hands for my service but blows. When I am cold, he heats me with beating. When I am warm, he cools me with beating. I am waked with it when I sleep, and raised with it when I sit, driven out of doors with it when I go from home, welcomed home with it when I return. Nay, I bear it on my shoulders as a beggar wont her brat, and I think when he hath lamed me, I shall beg with it from door to door.
Come along, go along. My wife is coming yonder.
Mistress, respice finem. Oh, respect your end, or rather the prophecy, like the parrot. Beware the rope's end.
Wilt thou still talk?
Oh!
Whoa.
Stop!
All right. Bravo. That was a little bit of stage fight incorporated in that fabulous scene from Comedy of Errors. Let's move on to Taming of the Shrew and Petruchio in Act 2, Scene 1. We see Petruchio, after confirming that a substantial dowry may accompany his successful wooing of Catherine, he starts to plot to gain Catherine's hand in marriage. But Catherine is far from easy to please. She's, she has quite the temper. But Petruchio, he waits. He waits for Baptista, Kate's father, to send Catherine out to see him, and he decides to adopt the tactic of good-naturedly contradicting everything that she says. So presenting Franklin Hall as the ever-resourceful Petruchio.
I'll attend her here and woo her with some spirit when she comes. Say that she rails. Why then, I'll tell her plain. She sings as sweetly as a nightingale. Say that she frowns. I'll say she looks as clear as morning roses newly washed with dew. Say she be mute and will not speak a word. Then I'll commend her volubility and say she uttereth piercing eloquence. If she do bid me pat, I'll give her thanks as though she do bid me stay by her a week. If she deny to wed, I'll crave the day when I shall ask the banes, and when be married. But here she comes, and now Patricio speak.
How do you think that's gonna end? Oh my gosh, let's go to Twelfth Night now. Famous, beautiful comedy again of twins and some gender bending in the scene. This is Act 1, Scene 5. You're going to see Viola, who's dressed as Cesario, delivering her master Orsino's message of love to Olivia. Olivia's grieving her brother's death. They engage in a spirited back and forth, and it ends with Cesario's exclamations of love. I'm going to let you see what happens next, but please welcome on screen Lynn Hollander as Viola, Charmaine Hitchcock as Olivia, and Karen Selinger supporting as Maria.
Come, give me my veil. We'll once more hear Orsino's embassy.
The honorable lady of the house, which is she?
Speak to me, I shall answer for her. Your will?
Most radiant, exquisite, and unmatchable beauty. I pray you, tell me if this be the lady of the house, for I never saw her. I would be loath to cast away my speech, for besides that it is excellently well penned, I have taken great pains to con it. Good beauties, let me sustain no scorn. I am very comfortable, even to the least sinister usage.
Whence came you, sir?
I can say little more than I have studied, and that question's out of my part. Good gentle one, give me modest assurance if you be the lady of the house, that I may proceed in my speech.
Are you a comedian?
No, my profound heart. And yet, by the very fangs of malice, I swear I am not that I play. Are you the lady of the house?
If I do not usurp myself, I am.
Most certain, if you are she, you do usurp yourself, for what is yours to bestow is not yours to reserve. But this is from my commission. I will on with my speech in your praise, and then show you the heart of my message.
Come to what is important in't. I forgive you the praise.
Alas, I took great pains to study it, and 'tis poetical.
'Tis the more like to be feigned. I pray you keep it in. I heard you were saucy at my gates, and allowed your approach rather to wonder at you than to hear you. If you be not mad, be gone. If you have reason, be brief. 'Tis not that time of moon with me to make one in so skipping a dialogue. Tell me your mind.
I am, I am a messenger.
Yet you began rudely. What are you? What would you?
The rudeness that hath appeared in me have I learned from my entertainment. What I am and what I would are as secret as maidenhead to you, to your ears, divinity, to any others, profanation.
Give us the place alone. We will hear this divinity. Now, sir, what is your text?
Most sweet lady.
A comfortable doctrine, and much may be said of it. Where lies your text?
In Orsino's bosom.
In his bosom. In what chapter of his bosom?
To answer by the method, in the first of his heart.
Oh, I have read it. It is heresy. Have you no more to say?
Good madam, let me see your face.
Have you any commission from your lord to negotiate with my face? You are now out of your text. But we will draw the curtain and show you the picture. Look you, sir, such a one I was, this present. Is't not well done?
Excellently done, if God did all.
'Tis ingrained, sir, 'twill endure wind and weather.
'Tis beauty truly blent, whose red and white nature's own sweet and cunning hand laid on. Lady, you are the cruelest she alive, if you will lead these graces to the grave and leave the world no copy.
Oh, sir, I will not be so hard-hearted. I will give out diverse schedules of my beauty. As item, 2 lips in different red. Item, 2 gray eyes with lids on them. Item, 1 neck, 1 chin, and so forth. Were you sent hither to praise me?
I see you what you are. You are too proud. But if you were the devil, you are fair. My lord and master loves you. Oh, such love could be but recompensed, though you were crowned the nonpareil of beauty.
How does he love me?
With adorations, fertile tears, with groans that thunder love, with sighs of fire.
Your lord does know my mind. I cannot love him. Yet I suppose him virtuous, know him noble, of great estate, of fresh and stainless youth, in voices well divulged, free, learned, and valiant, and in dimension and the shape of nature, a gracious person. But yet I cannot love him. He might have took his answer long ago.
If I did love you in my master's flame, with such a suffering, such a deadly life, in your denial I would find no sense. I would not understand it.
Why? What would you?
Make me a willow cabin at your gate, and call upon my soul within the house. Write loyal cantons of contemned love, and sing them loud even in the dead of night. Hallo your name to the reverberate hills, and make the babbling gossip of the air cry out, Olivia! Oh, you should not rest between the elements of air and earth, but you should pity me.
You might do much. What is your parentage?
Above my fortunes, yet my state is well. I am a gentleman.
Get you to your lord. I cannot love him.
let him send no more, unless, perchance, you come to me again to tell me how he takes it. Fare you well. I thank you for your pains. Spend this for me.
I am no feed post, lady. Keep your purse. My master, not myself, lacks recompense. Love make his heart of flint, that you shall love, and let your fervour, like my master's, be placed in contempt. Farewell, fair cruelty.
What is your parentage? Above my fortunes, yet my state is well. I am a gentleman. I'll be sworn thou art. Thy tongue, thy face, thy limbs, actions, and spirit, to give thee fivefold blazon. Not too fast. Soft, soft. Unless the master were the man. How now? Even so quickly may one catch the plague? Methinks I feel this youth's perfections with an invisible and subtle stealth to creep in at mine eyes. Well, let it be. What ho, Malvolio?
Yes, brava, Lynn, Charmaine, and Karen. Okay, let's move to the Forest of Arden. As You Like It, Act 3, Scene 5. We encounter Phoebe, shepherdess Phoebe. Silvius has confessed his love to Phoebe, but his words fall on hostile ears. Instead, she seems to be enamored by Ganymede, who's actually Rosalind in drag as Ganymede. But Ganymede, I'm afraid, is not very nice to her in a particular moment and mocks her a bit. So Phoebe's trying to figure out what she's going to do. And she employs Silvius in her little plot. So please welcome Anne Martin as the irrepressible shepherdess, Phoebe.
Oh, Sylvius! Sylvius! Think not that I love him, though I ask for him. 'Tis but a peevish boy, yet he talks well. But what care I for words? Yet words do well, when he that speaks them pleases those that hear. 'Tis a pretty youth, not very pretty, but sure he's proud, and yet his pride becomes him. He'll make a proper man. He's not very tall, yet for his years, he's tall. His leg is but so, and yet 'tis well. There was a pretty redness in his lip, a little riper and more lusty red than that mixed in his cheek. 'Twas just the difference twixt the constant red and a mingled damask. There be some women, Silvius, had they marked him in parcels as I did, would have gone near to fall in love with him. But for my part, I love him not, nor hate him not, and yet have more cause to hate him than to love him. For what had he to do to chide at me? He said my eyes were black and my hair black, and now I am remembered scorned at me. I marvel why I answered not again. But that's all one. Oh, omittance is no quittance. I'll write to him a very taunting letter, and thou shalt bear it. Wilt thou, Silvius?
Oh my gosh, who can deny? Phoebe, brava. Thank you, Anne. All right, let's move on to Shakespeare's most well-known play, The Tragedy of Hamlet. Hamlet, Act 5, Scene 1. This is the act where the play takes a turn for the worse. Ophelia is found dead. But in the churchyard, two gravediggers provide some comic relief. They're shoveling out a grave for Ophelia. They argue whether Ophelia should be buried in the churchyard since she was said to have died of suicide. According to religious doctrines of that time, suicides may not receive Christian burial. So what you'll see is a back and forth scene between a veteran gravedigger and an apprentice gravedigger, played by Sandy Lasky as first gravedigger and Nancy Forbord as second gravedigger. The scene will swiftly be followed by Robin Goodfellow's speech from Midsummer Night's Dream, which is the last speech in that beautiful play, Midsummer Night's Dream, performed by Alan Swope. So take it away, Sandy, Nancy, and Alan.
Is she to be buried in Christian burial when she willfully seeks her own salvation?
I tell thee she is. Therefore, make her grave straight. The crown has sat on her, and finds it Christian burial.
How can that be unless she drowned herself in her own defense?
'Tis found so.
It must be se offendendo. It cannot be else. For here lies the point. If I drown myself wittingly, it argues an act. And an act has three branches. It is to act, to do, and to perform. Argal, she drowned herself wittingly.
Nay, but hear you, good man Delver.
Give me leave. Here lies the water. Good. Here stands the man. Good. If the man go to the water and drown himself, it is willy-nilly he goes. Mark you that. But if the water come to him and drown him, he drown not himself. Argal, he that is not guilty of his own death shortens not his own life.
But is this law?
Ay, Mary, it is. Crowner's quest law.
Will you have the truth on it? If this had not been a gentlewoman, she should have been buried out a Christian burial.
Oh, aye, there thou sayest. And the more the pity that great folk should have countenance in this world to drown or hang themselves more than they're even Christian. Come, my spade, there is no ancient gentleman but gardeners, ditchers, and grave makers. They hold up Adam's profession.
Was he a gentleman?
He was the first that bore arms.
Why, he had none?
What, art a heathen? How dost thou understand the scripture? The scripture says Adam digged. Could he dig without arms? I'll put another question to thee. If thou answerest me not to the purpose, confess thyself.
Go to.
What is he that builds stronger than either the mason, the shipwright, or the carpenter?
The gallows maker, for that frame outlives 1,000 tenants.
I like thy wit well, in good faith. The gallows does well. But how does it well? It does well to those that do ill. Now, thou dost ill to say the gallows is built stronger than the church. Argal, the gallows may do well to thee. Do it again, come.
Who builds stronger than a mason, a shipwright, or a carpenter?
Aye, tell me that and unyoke.
Mary, now I can tell.
To it.
Mary, Mass, I cannot tell.
Cudgel thy brains no more about it, for your dull ass will not mend a pace with beating. And when asked a question next, say, a grave digger. The houses that he makes last till doomsday. Oh, get thee in, fetch me a stoup of liquor. In youth, when I did love, methought it was very sweet to contract the time for a my behove. Oh, methought there was a nothing a meet. Oh, in youth, what I did love, methought it was very sweet to contract the time for a my behove. Oh, methought there was a nothing a meet.
Shoo, 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 away. If we shadows have offended, think but this, and all is mended, that you have but slumbered here, while these visions did appear, and this weak and idle theme no more yielding but a dream. Gentles, do not reprehend, if you pardon, we will mend. And, as I am an honest puck, if we have unearned luck, now to scape the serpent's tongue, we'll make amends ere long, else the puck a liar call. So good night unto you all. Give me your hands if we be friends, and Robin shall restore amends.